Hi, everybody, welcome back. Most of our buildings use electric light sources. In this video, we're going to talk about the different characteristics of those sources and how we can measure them. There's a lot of vocabulary words, so get ready. Here we go. The first vocabulary I want to talk about is the lamp and the luminaire. And these are lighting design specific terms. All right, so the lamp is not what you might think of in general, everyday use, or perhaps when you're talking about interior design in general. It's not a table lamp or a floor lamp. When we're in lighting design, the lamp is specifically the interchangeable bulb or tube, and it is the lighting source in a lighting fixture or luminaire. The next vocabulary word is luminaire. Luminaire is a fancy word for light fixture, and it's specifically any light producing device permanently or hardwired to the home wiring system. All right, so what we have here is a lamp or a bulb, and then a luminaire that the bulb goes into. Now, when you're choosing your lamps and your luminaires, there are some characteristics that you would look at to make your selection. All right, and one of them is light output, and that's measured in lumens. We're going to talk about that in a second. Another one is efficacy. That's an odd word. It means very much the same thing as efficiency, all right, but it's a special word, efficacy. Go ahead and say it right now, efficacy. All right, it's measured in lumens per watt. You're also going to take a look at illuminance, which is measured in foot candles, or if you are in a metric system, it's measured in lux. And candle power, which is measured in a very similar sounding term, candela. You also are interested in the lamp life. How many hours can you shine this light before you have to replace the lamp? So let's start at the top of this list with light output. We're interested in how much light comes out of your lamp or your light source, all right? And the rate at which the light source emits light energy is measured in lumens. All right. And we can compare this using an analogy. All right, we're going to compare light to water. And so if you are shining a light source, and in the example here, we're shining a flashlight, all right, because it's a hand source, you can compare that to spraying a hose and the gallons per minute of water that come out of that hose. All right, so lumens is the rate at which the light is coming out or spraying out of that light source. Now, the lumens are coming out of the light source, but what are we providing to that light source to create the lumens? We're providing electricity. The electricity that we are providing to our lamp is measured in watts, all right, watts of electricity. And it makes a difference how many lumens we get out versus how many watts we're putting in. And so that's what we're trying to measure with efficacy. Efficacy is measured in lumens per watt, and it's a measure of the light output per each watt that is coming in, of input, watt that is consumed by that lamp to create that amount of light. Let's take a look at another example. Remember that efficacy is a ratio. It's a ratio of light output to the energy input. It's measured in lumens per watt. So over here we have an incandescent bulb. It draws or uses 100 watts of electricity to produce 1740 lumens in this example. All right, so we would compare these in a ratio. 1740 divided by 100, and your efficacy for this particular lamp would be 17.4. Compare that to the fluorescent tube right here. It's also going to draw 100 watts to produce far more lumens, 7,800 lumens. So compare these two numbers, 7,800 divided by 100, and your efficacy for the fluorescent tube is 78. that is far higher than the incandescent. All right, it's a more efficient bulb. So far we have been talking about the amount of light that a lamp produces. But sometimes, as a lighting designer, we're more interested in how much of that light actually falls on a specific surface. It's usually a work surface like a desk. All right. And so, as lighting designers, we're going to measure that amount of light, and the measurement is called a foot candle. All right. If you're working in uh, imperial units, it's foot candle. If you're working in metric units, it's going to be called a lux. And illuminance is defined as the lumens, the amount of light, remember, the rate of light, falling on a specific surface per square meter or square foot. All right. So going back to our water analogy, all right, if the lumens were like how many gallons per minute we're spraying out of a hose, okay, think of a luminance more like rain and catching the rain on a specific square foot of a desk. How much rain is falling on that desk? How much light is falling on the desk? All right. There's some mathematics here to show you how to calculate that, but we're going to cover that in the second half of our course. All right, here's one more way that we, as lighting designers, measure light. All right, this is the last one. Hey, bear with me, hang in with this one, okay? And it's called luminous intensity, or a more common name for it is candle power. Candle power, it's a fun name, all right? And this is defined as the intensity of light, how much light is shining in a particular direction. All right, so it makes a difference which way your luminaire is pointed. The lumens and the efficacy are typically for a specific lamp. The candle power is typically for a specific luminaire because it matters which way that luminaire is pointed. Now, because it's directional, candle power is better illustrated by a graph than a single number. The last slide showed you a single number, but it's different depending on which angle. And so the luminaire manufacturers typically will supply these candle power graphs for each fixture. And so here we have a specific fixture. All right, and you can see it in the photo in place, right? It's lighting up a office here, and you can see that it is suspended from the ceiling and that they are linear fixtures. All right. On the right-hand side, we can see kind of an illustration of what that fixture looks like, and also a cross section through the fixture. All right. And at the bottom, let's take a look at that candela chart. It can be read that the light fixture is typically right here at the crosshairs of this graph. All right, these are, looks like the rays of a sun, all right, are all the different angles that the light could be shining. All right. And then this this line right here is going to be the candela distribution for this specific fixture. All right. We'll work more later in the semester on how to read these graphs. When you're choosing a lamp or a luminaire for a project, you look at all the different characteristics and criteria and qualities that those might have. All right, so in this video, we covered some of those basic definitions of the characteristics of your light sources. Thanks, everyone.